So I brought the GT350 with me straight home from California. My friend purchased the car, and he wanted me to take care of it and clean it up real quick before we do anything else with it. He said, I want you to go home and do your magic on it and play around with it and get it cleaned up. And we went ahead and did that and made that plan, and then he told me that he had the body shop appointment to have them look it over that day too. So I focused on washing it, doing the engine bay a little bit, and getting those quarter panels buffed out a little bit with the random orbital Torque X polisher. So you can see the car is dirty as well because I had driven it through the rain on the way home just for about 10-15 miles, and so looks good with the Cobra next to it. It's kind of a fun garage setup. My friend actually has a Terminator and a GT350, and at his other house he has another set, so it's kind of what his garage would look like. But anyway, yeah, you can see it's a little dirty. So you can see how dirty it is just from the rain getting on it, and it wasn't too bad. It was actually clean when we picked it up. They had run it through a touchless car wash and got it ready for us, and so it wasn't too bad, but going through that dirty rain was just enough to get it dirty. And we noticed when I got home and looked underneath, well, I noticed when we were looking at the car originally, it had a lot of spider webs under here. It had a bunch of them like up underneath the diffuser, so I think the wind resistance blew all those out on the way home. But yeah, you can see pretty dirty underneath. Interior, car looks really good. Cool mats, those are nice. Everything else in here was pretty clean, so nothing to complain about. But the engine bay is where all of the real sorrow takes place. This just looks really bad. It looks like it's never been cleaned up. And this is what a normal car would look like with 10,000 miles on it if it was driven in the area where this one was driven. He said that there were a lot of almond fields and a lot of dust and stuff because of that. But anyway, the engine was pretty dirty, and it needed to be cleaned up. So he said go ahead and do a little bit on the engine bay, but then and he's going to buy a new filter for it here. But he said go ahead and focus on those quarter panels because I want to get those cleaned up so that we can take it to the body shop and let them see what they're looking at underneath all of that. And so here you can just see, to document how dirty the car was, basically that's what this point of the video was, just to show what it looked like when we got it. And it cleans up real easy. It's not bad. It's just dusty and stuff, and maybe a little bit of rain or whatever, but it wasn't too bad. Unfortunately, somebody stole the plaque off of this part of the engine here. That's where it would have the signature of the man who built the engine. It says, 5.2 flat plane and stuff on there. But anyway, that's unfortunate. Somebody got away with that, and I've seen that happen with newer GT500s as well that were like rental track cars. I found this wedged underneath between the K member and the oil pan, but anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. I reached down there, I was like, what the heck is that? And I pulled it out and whatever, but went ahead and got some Armor All wash and wax soap and just went ahead and cleaned up the car. And of course, the first thing you want to do is wash the car and get all of the dirt off of it, and then clay bar, which I did as well, before you do any buffing, so you're not shoving dirt into it. And I love when people like to comment and say, how come you didn't do a 2-bucket wash? The car doesn't need a 2-bucket wash. Okay, it was a clean car, washing some dirt off of it, no big deal. Wash and wax soap, it'll be fine. So it looked pretty good once I got it cleaned up, and we're going to take it over to that body shop like I have been saying, and they're going to really show you what we're looking at here. So this was just to get it cleaned up so they could look it over, but it looked really good. I didn't see any swirl marks or anything, and this cleaned up nicely, and the bugs came right off. They weren't really bad or anything. So here's the car now all cleaned up. Looks really good. It looked beautiful in the sun. You'll see the mismatched paint on the quarter panel mostly, where the door and the quarter panel meet, but beautiful ruby red. I mean, man, in the sun this car really looks good, but you can see how that quarter panel is more of a pink color or a strawberry color. So that's something that we're going to address, and that's what the body shop's all about. And they have a lot of really neat things to say, and they were excited about it, and I made a whole video about our visit there, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. That's a good one. So I use the Torque X buffer and the Chemical Guys stuff, and you have these different compounds, and there's 4 stages. You can see the orange peel. I tried to record it. It looks pretty good. It really does. But I mean, if you get up close, you'll see all the orange peel, and you'll see little pieces of dirt stuck in the clear coat. And I did this comparison. There's my GT, kind of foggy looking in that picture. You'll see it when we're done here. But I started out with the lightest one, which is what they recommend when you go to do this with a car. You start off with the lightest compound and see if that cleans it up well, and then if that's not doing it for you, then you go a little bit more aggressive and a little more aggressive as you go down. In this case, half of the quarter panel had a really thick orange peel, so I could get the first half of the quarter panel to look pretty good, but then I had to go with the stronger stages as I worked towards the back of the car. And in this case, we are not dealing with original paint. We're not dealing with original clear coat. Those dots that are all in the paint and in the clear, those are going to get rubbed thin really quick if you do this too hard and aggressive. And you need to be aggressive to get the orange peel out. So basically, I did what I was comfortable with without having to wet sand it. Now look at the reflection of that GT. Nice and clear. Looks a lot better. Wanted to continue in the shade, so I pulled the car in to do the other side in the shade. You can see that towel there. Look for the clarity of the towel. It looks pretty good in the shade, but you'll definitely see a difference when we get done here. So back to the clay bar on this side, just getting everything ready and prepped to go for the random polisher. And just wanted to get all the contaminants out of here, no matter what they are, even though this paint's not very old either. But here you can see a little bit of a difference now, and this is definitely a lot better, more like glass. Now there still is orange peel in it, and that's okay. Something that my friend really doesn't like that, and he doesn't like the imperfections, and so we're going to take it to the body shop and you'll see what that's all about and what they say. It was a very interesting video. So here is taking the wheel off. Look at the size of those brakes. Those rear brakes are like a whole pizza. But anyway, looking underneath the car, a little bit dirty too. We're just kind of checking things out here. Got the wheel off. Looking at where they made some repairs and stuff right here in the wheel well. There's a little bit of, it looks like welding for the quarter panel. So my friend asked to grind that down just a little bit, put some black paint on it. But overall, car looked really good when it was done for what it is. I mean, you can see the imperfections, but it's also a salvage title rebuilt car. So you can't get too picky about it. But anyway, that's the update for it so far. And there's more videos to come. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And stay tuned for more Mustang content.